Let me just, oops. Let me share. I've written a song, my first song, but I feel a bit, I don't want to sing it, but I keep wanting to sing. No. Do not sing it. Live, okay. Oh, it nearly came out again. Sign out. Come on, come on. So I'm in the kitchen today. I quite like doing it in the kitchen. I can't do it in the kitchen in the week because the children are upstairs above the kitchen. So obviously it'll be too noisy to stream in here on Thursdays. But they're not here at the weekend, so I get to stream in here. I know I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't going to do a stream this Sunday, but yeah, I'm doing a stream this Sunday. So it's a spontaneous stream. So it's best to subscribe to my channel to get a notification of me going live like this spontaneously. So maybe subscribe, click the bell and tick the box to say email me for when she goes live, and then you'll get a reminder or a notification when I'm going live randomly. So good morning and welcome to the Sunday stream. So I'll do the introduction, and then you can ask questions through Skype. So this is like a movie, like a film playing. And like in a movie or a film, there's a soundtrack playing. And the soundtrack in this is me in my life, me and my story, who I am, what's happened, what's going to happen. What I think of this, what I think of that. This is who I am. This is what I look like. This is what's happening. All these different descriptions. And what happens is we begin to identify as humans, we identify with that soundtrack of who we are, that narrative, that story. It's like a living through that story, as if that's the reality, that's the one looking out, that story of me is what's looking out, experiencing. And to live like that, to live identified with a story of who you are, the soundtrack of who you are, is what is called suffering. And this only seems to happen in human animals. I guess because our brain is big enough and complex enough to abstract. It can abstract, it can imagine what's not happened, it can imagine what has happened or what's going to happen. And that's a great thing to have, that ability to imagine, create in the head, create a mental idea. I'm not sure trees have that ability to have thoughts about what's not happening. But anyway, so it begins to feel like that story of who we are, that soundtrack, is the one who's living, who's experiencing. And so in that identification with that, there's a feeling of being small, of being limited. I am something moving through time. I stop at the edge of this machine. I'm in here looking out. And it feels uncomfortable to be in here looking out, to be limited. It feels uncomfortable. And so what happens is a seeking, a trying to find the end of that discomfort, trying to find a sense of openness so that you can burst through or feel complete and feel whole. So you're trying to add things on to feel whole. Because living as a small entity, you've lost something, you've lost wholeness, you've lost home. And so what this non-dual message is about is pointing to freedom, where freedom is, and they're pointing out that that idea, that story, which is energetic, it becomes an energy, it's a sense of you being limited, isn't true. That it isn't true. That you aren't someone small listening to this stream. You aren't that story of you sitting on a seat listening. That isn't who you are. That narrative may be appearing. I'm sitting here, I came here, I chose to watch Rebekah on YouTube. That narrative may be appearing, but it isn't the truth. And so this is a change over, a change over from living identified to not, to not, to everything living, rather than this being contained and owned by someone, by something, by this energy, this being claimed and owned to be a personal, private experience, that barrier collapses, that line between who you feel you are here and the world dissolves. And so there is everything. And that is non-duality, not two, not divided, not me and other. But in the narrative, so in the soundtrack, there is still thoughts of let's say a cup and the computer, and I'm going shopping. There's still a narrative. There's still a communicating. But it's no longer someone communicating. It's no longer someone having that experience. It's no longer owned by anyone. It's free. And this is the change, that this is free and no longer owned energetically, not in the narrative. So the narrative doesn't become non-dual. The narrative doesn't become I am no one, I am everything. It's not a personal attainment. While there is that identification with that narrative, there is a person, there is still a someone who owns this happening. Then there will be a seeking to try to own non-duality, to try to own this. Own this for me. And this isn't a personal ownership. It's the end of that dynamic. Is that the word? I don't know. The end of that way of being. The end of that illusion. This is what you long for. Everything. Which sounds pretty greedy. I long for everything, but it's what you long for. What you long for in the seeking for a successful career or partner or whatever it is, a friend. What you long for is the collapse of you and there being everything. And the great news is this everything is found in the supermarket. or isn't found on eBay. You can't bid, you can't go and purchase this. Because it's here. It's already here. And this is an empowering message, not a depressing message, it's an empowering message. It takes the power out of anybody else's hands. So if you have any questions, you can ask them now on Skype. I'm not sure I'll do a long stream, just maybe an hour or something, or less, depending on if there are any questions or not. I have a question from somebody from the other day. I wrote it somewhere about speaking about other speakers. Why I don't do that. I don't bitch about other speakers. Let me just go on there. I don't bitch about other speakers because that's not what this is about. That's not what this message that's being communicated isn't about that. It doesn't seem relevant to what I'm talking about at all. Like there's such an enjoyment, a pleasure in communicating about freedom. Maybe because the suffering was so intense, it was so intense here, that to discover freedom is like the best message ever. It's the best message ever. End of suffering. Is that the best message ever? God. So doing that is enough. Doing that is enough. What other speakers talk about is kind of irrelevant, really. I just enjoy speaking about this. Obviously, you're going to prefer certain speakers over others, but I don't know. Just listen to whoever you feel you resonate with. Wherever there's that joy, that love, that collapsing, that enjoyment, that openness. Hi, Ella. I love you for not doing that. Bitching about other speakers. I find it repulsive and defeating the subject. Although it happens as it happens. Yeah. I don't see the need for it. I don't see why it's unless you want power, you want to have more power. So you put other speakers down so they're lower than you and you can be higher than other speakers. Other than that, I don't see any reason why you'd need to mention other speakers in a talk. I don't know why you would, other than to like maybe mention what someone's saying and to try and, I don't know, but I don't see a need to necessarily do that. Yeah, but hi, Brian. Is the discovery of freedom an event within time? It can't be. An event within time. Where is time? Where would time live, other than as an idea? So you're saying, is freedom an idea? Is it living in the world of ideas? Sorry, mental ideas. How can this be in an idea? An idea can only appear here. The idea of time can only appear here. But you're free to ask more, Brian. That question seemed a bit flat. Like there's not. I don't know. Like yeah, you're free to write more and ask more. Like, what are you really asking? Your answer blows me away. I'm not sure where it leaves me. My mind is always trying to grasp at something. Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful, not being sure where it leaves you. That's quite nice. I'm not sure where it leaves me. That big question mark. We're scared of this question mark. Not knowing, of not having a surface, a platform to stand upon. At times, I feel as if someone stole my heart, and the emptiness left is more beautiful than being a me with a heart. Yeah, emptiness is beautiful. It is beautiful. But the emptiness must at some point merge with the heart. There has to be nothing and everything, not just nothing, not just emptiness, but fullness, because they aren't separate. They aren't separate. I understand that everything can be painful, the everything part. And so it's easier to stay in the emptiness, in the there's no one here, in the stillness, in the, nothingness. I think a lot of people cling to that teaching because they're scared of the everything part. But there has to be that everything part as well. There has to be nothing and everything. It happened here, the scariness of the everything. I wanted to stay as there's no one here. But there had to be that complete collapsing and the merge, seeming merging of the two, the revealing of both, and that is beautiful, really beautiful. But it's not an easy thing to it's not an easy thing to allow everything back in. I love the netty thing of not that, not that. It's really important. The nothing, the apparent masculine energy. But the feminine energy of everything must, I don't mean like the man woman, I mean like the energy of it, the masculine, the feminine, not male, female. But there has to be that, because that is still separation, just nothing. There has to be the everything. And that makes this wholeness. Yes, and everything seems offered freely, no need to grasp. No. Everything is free. Everything is free. Hey, Ayush. Oh, there's more. I didn't see. I just saw the hey part. I didn't see the writing beneath that. I have a bit of a difficult question. Why does consciousness allow suffering, death, disease, war, etc. in the world? Why not create a world in these things? Why not create a world where these things are not possible? This is a question that I can't seem to get over, and I haven't heard any response that was satisfactory. What are your thoughts? Why does it allow these things in the world? I'm not sure I can answer why anything's appearing. It's the way it is. It appears as it appears. The problem is, the suffering is that this is real, that you are real, that this is happening to you, that you will die and get disease at some point. And so seeing it on the screen that others are going through these things, you feel it will happen to me at some point. So you want to stop it because you're afraid of it happening to you. You have fear of your own mortality. But this is the way it is. The birth of something, the death of something. This is the way it is. And you can't stop that. And that frightens the heck out of you. And the more you run away from that reality, the more you're seeing it everywhere. Death and destruction. The more you suppress that fear of that, the more you experience that fear of it. There is no escape from it. As that is heard, that there may be a relaxing into it. A relaxing into that fear. Allowing that fear to be free. Who you are isn't something that can be eaten up by fear. You aren't a limited entity that can be eaten up. Maybe this form can be, this machine can be, this animal can be. So there's a natural fear about protecting this machine, this animal. But who you are isn't this animal. Who you truly are isn't this machine. So So in the discovery of that, there's a natural relaxing. The natural relaxing that happens. You aren't something here. You aren't occupying this machine. So what you really, I propose, what you really long for is to discover who you are. Rather than the obsession, the mind saying about the world and this and that. What you really long for is the discovery of who you are. Thank you, Ayush. You're welcome. As all appearances are impersonal, it's quite amazing that a me can appear. It's amazing how any of this appears. That life is appearing. That's amazing. That's a mystery that life is appearing. There's computers appearing, there's hands appearing, there's voices appearing. This is happening. This is how amazing. Yeah. The problems of life and all this seeming suffering amount to the sense of a me, a center who was experiencing them. Lose the me and freedom is found. Is this what you're saying? The mind immediately asks, how do I lose the sense of a me? Problems of life and all this seeming suffering amount to the sense of a me. I'm not sure I'm saying exactly that. The sense of a me is just this this ownership, this claiming. Not that there's someone doing that, but there's just this appearance of this sense of being limited that happens in humans. And that is the suffering, this sense of someone experiencing. Lose the me and freedom is found. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What I'm saying is, with this ending of this seeming limitation, this seeming boundary, this seeming border where you live here, with the end of that, then there's freedom. So the mind immediately asks, how do I lose this sense of a me? Because the mind's taking it on as if I'm talking to the mind. I'm talking to someone who can now lose the me. That's not what is being spoken of. Who is this me? Who is this I that will lose the sense of me? So that idea, that thought comes, how do I lose this sense of me? But it's felt as if that is someone, that is owned, that thought is owned by that sense of someone. It claims that thought, that idea. And it feels as if I'm thinking and feeling that. It's related to me, this sense of someone. So it isn't about you losing the me. Who is this you? That's the point. It's the end of this you. Who would even believe that? Who would even own that idea? It's the end of that energy. The end of that claimer. An owner of thoughts and ideas. The end of that position. So this isn't a personal message for that dream person to take on. This is free. This is free. It doesn't need someone to do or not do anything. This is free. The only thing that's coming up is there must be some kind of idea. Sorry, There's some kind of discomfort there. And so from that, then naturally comes the idea, what can I do? Yeah, a lot of discomfort. And so naturally you want a relief from that discomfort. And so the natural thing is to ask, what can I do? Where can I move to? Can you see how the habit is to avoid that discomfort? It's to move to the intellect, to move to the mind and future. The discomfort is happening right here. It's appearing right here. What a gift. What a gift. What a present. What a present in present. Yeah. Why a gift? Why a gift? Because it's happening. Because that's happening. You believe what I'm talking about lies somewhere else. It lies in the future. It lies in time when there is no discomfort. But what I'm pointing to is this, what is happening. This is it. What is happening is it. This is where you fall in love. This is where you disappear. Nobody lives here. There is just everything. What is happening? This is the gift. This is always free. Thank you, Brian. That was really lovely, yeah. A lovely, yeah. Anchor. Hi, Anchor. Okay, so that's the end of the stream for this morning. Thank you for joining. And apparently you must like the video to get more, for it to be what's the word? You must subscribe and like and comment for it to be like put up on Google, and for Google, YouTube to tag it and to promote the video. Apparently it helps to spread this video. So yeah, please subscribe and like and support this expression if you like it and want to support it. If not, then don't. But if you do, then do. If you do, then do. But thank you, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.